Brilliance Audio presents The Glimmer of Hope by Steve McHugh, performed by Elizabeth Nolden. Elias Wells had to admit to being genuinely impressed with the escaped experiment that sprinted through the snowy forest in search of her freedom. She had fled the prison she'd been in, along with two others, an hour earlier. They'd not only made it to the edge of the forest, a rare act that deserved respect, but the last of them, Liz Barnsley, managed to outpace the monsters that chased her. Elias didn't bother running. He didn't see the point, not only because he considered it a waste of his energy, but also because the snow beneath his leather-booted feet had begun to turn to slush. He didn't want to slip on an unseen spot of ice and make himself look like an idiot. Elias jogged at an easy pace, making sure to keep the creatures he worked with in his view, but allowing them the freedom to do their jobs. Besides, it wasn't like Liz had a lot of choices when it came to an escape route. Liz had escaped a half-hour ago, and upon hearing the news, Elias had been genuinely shocked. The fact that during the years of the prison being active, she was the only one of 4 escapees to have lived long enough to reach the forest surprised him even more. He'd always taken her as the sort of person for whom the idea of running came a distant second to the idea of sitting. He guessed that adrenaline and the need to be free drove people to perform better than they'd ever be able to otherwise. He made a mental note of it. It was something to try on the rest of the subjects. Maybe they'd get better results. A scream from up ahead signified that Liz wasn't as far away as she'd probably like to be. Elias didn't need to concern himself with anyone hearing it who wasn't meant to. Civilians were not an issue in the middle of nowhere. The only things likely to hear the screams and pleas for help would be the animals who lived in the forest, and he doubted that Liz was able to call the animals to her aid, like Sleeping Beauty. As he got closer to the noise of fighting, he heard the laughter of the creatures that served in the prison, and the cursing from Liz. Elias began to wonder if there was a way to take her back without damaging her. He shook his head as he pushed aside a branch, letting it fly back into position after getting past it. Liz stood in a clearing, blood seeping down her left arm where an arrow had struck it. A second arrow protruded from just above her left ankle. She couldn't put weight on it. "Hello, Liz," Elias said, his tone conversational and light. His English accent was still evident, even after all these years away. "Feel like coming back to the compound with me?" "Go to hell," she snapped. Elias glanced over at the 3 creatures that had accompanied him on the hunt. They were all baying for blood, but would do nothing until he commanded it. "Go deal with the other corpses," he told them. They did as they were ordered without comment, and were soon lost from view in the darkness of the forest. "I really would rather you live," Elias said. "But if you're going to fight me, you might as well get it started now." A spine, 3 inches in length, flew toward Elias, who easily avoided it. The next 4 were even faster as they left Liz's palms, and Elias had to catch one mid-flight to stop it in time. "Nicely done," he commended. "Your bone mass must regenerate at an extraordinary speed." He turned the bone spines over in his hands. "I was taught by the best," Liz said. "Sarcasm, my dear? We've been trying to teach you to accept your new abilities." "Abilities I never wanted. I just want to go home." "To where? That park bench we found you on. We've given you shelter, food, and warmth. We haven't beaten you or tortured you. I think, personally, that we've been quite pleasant." "You forced this onto me. You murder those who can't cope." "Well, sometimes things don't go according to plan, but you have exceeded my expectations."